Hey, this is the Review Junkie, and today I'll be reviewing the 1987 anime film Knights of the Zodiac, or Saint Seiya Evil Goddess. As always, my review will be illustrated, and the artwork is done by myself. And if you like movies, art, and comic books, please hit that subscribe button because all my reviews are hand-drawn, and I'd like to get to 1,000 subscribers soon so my channel can be official. This is a non-spoiler review, so I'll do my best to be as vague as possible and not ruin anything for anyone who hasn't seen it. I will tell you briefly about the plot, the characters, my pros and cons, final thoughts, and if this is worth checking out. The plot pertains to Hyoga, the Swan Saint, and his new friend Eri. One night while chatting and looking up at the night sky, they both see a shooting star. But it's not just any shooting star, this one has trouble written all over it. So Eri finds herself drawn to the mountain where the star has passed, and she heads there and finds a golden apple. And what do you know? She becomes Eris, goddess of evil. And aren't all apples evil, right? Talk about religious symbolism. So the next day, Athena is riding a horse in the woods and stumbles upon Eri and realizes she isn't the same person anymore. Why the hell is a goddess riding around on a horse for no reason? I don't know, don't ask me. Do goddesses ride horses or they just fly? Okay, so Athena is taken hostage for a specific reason, and you can probably guess what happens next. Yes, our good old buddies, the Five Saints, come to her rescue. Alright, so I've been on a Knights of the Zodiac high since the live action movie was just released, and that's mainly why I saw this. And my non-spoiler review for the live action movie is on my channel as well, so feel free to check that out. Now, I'm by no means a Saint Seiya expert because I never finished the anime, but I love this property and the concept of knights and astronomy. The fusion of Greek mythology with Japanese lore is perfect. Now, my first pro is I really appreciated that the first scene started with a quick synopsis of the show. We get to know about the characters, why they're knights, and no one is in the dark. The artwork here is fantastic. It is a product of its time, and you know exactly what decade it's from when you see it. This era, including the 90s, just had such a unique flair and style all its own. Now, I saw the remastered HD version and it looks crystal clear and sharp. The colors are very vibrant and eye-catching, and there are tons of details in the backgrounds, from the ruins to the lighting effects of the water, the sunset, the Greek Doric columns, and even to the way the clouds are drawn. Now, you're probably asking yourself, are all the saints fighting Eris? And they're not. To keep things interesting, the saints end up having to fight something else as well. The action here is great. There is good hand-to-hand fighting and some brutal moments. I will say it is a tad violent and seemed darker than it really is, and it's probably perhaps because it has the 80s aesthetic and it comes off a bit grittier. There's blood, a body falling from a high cliff, and you know damn well no one could have possibly survived that fall. There's also a scene with Andromeda involving a harp and harp strings, and you can probably guess where that's headed if you're familiar with anime. So, I do like the villain here, and I thought she had an interesting agenda. Her motives justify the existence of this movie, and she did do something devious in Act 2, and it was sort of unexpected, and it really showed her true colors. And don't you just love how every time a female character becomes evil in a movie or a TV show, she just magically gets a perm? Like, nothing says pure evil like a perm. You just gotta have crazy curly hair, right? Like, I don't even know how she even had time to perm her hair. Okay. Now, I do have a few small cons. The runtime is 45 minutes and it moves rather nicely. It was sort of the sweet spot, but I actually wouldn't mind if it was longer. The extra time should have been dedicated to an unresolved plot point. And the thing that sets everything in motion doesn't really get proper closure in Act 3. And I was sort of sitting there asking myself when the credits rolled, wait a minute, did I miss something? So I actually had to rewind the last 2 minutes because I thought I missed a scene. Now, something happens to a mountain during the shooting star scene, and I found it so funny that no one in town noticed what happened. There was no way anybody could have missed that unless they were blind. Also, I found the fighting to be a bit repetitive. Anyone who has seen an anime where there are 5 superheroes wearing the same uniform but in different colors will know exactly what I mean. I also found it funny that their armor always goes through something catastrophic, breaks into a million pieces, and is then magically fine in the very next scene. No damage. Lastly, this is not a con, but this whole situation could have easily been avoided had Hyoga not gotten a raging erection after seeing Eri for the first time. Okay? Okay, so this brings me to my final thoughts, and this gets a solid 8 out of 10 from me. This movie is pure entertainment and it's beautifully drawn. I do wish it was dubbed in English, but given the short length, I was fine with the subtitles. If you're a fan of the anime or the Saints, I would definitely recommend you check this out if you haven't seen it. It's so good that I went ahead and purchased the Blu-ray to check out the remaining 3 movies. It's also free to watch on Amazon, so if you have Prime, consider checking it out. Now, if you like this review, please subscribe, helps the channel out a lot. Hit that thumbs up button, feel free to share this with your friends, and if you happen to have a movie you'd like me to review, please let me know. I'd be happy to watch and illustrate it for a future video. Thanks again, and I hope the pictures put a smile on your face.